I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and welcome back to Build. Today, I'm sitting down with Herizen Guardiola, who stars in the new show, Dare Me. The thrilling drama follows a cheerleading squad that starts to unravel after a new coach comes to town. Take a look.
There's something dangerous about the boredom of teenage girls. Coach saw something in us. She saw past the glitter and the hair and the attitude to everything beneath.
Some fancy new coach thinks she can come and run my squad.
Sarge Will looks lonely.
You're not climbing that tree. You want to be careful with Beth.
I'm telling you, there's something off about her.
There's a price for everything. This is how you become strong. What was it supposed to do?
You are royalty now. You're gods. Make them bow down.
In the end, I couldn't stop it.
Welcome, Herizen Guardiola.
Hi, guys.
I'm so happy my high school experience was not like that.
Yeah, I was homeschooled for
Right?
most of it, so yeah.
So less intense.
Yeah.
I checked out the pilot, and it was super intense, and it totally draws you in right away.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your reaction the first time you saw the script and kind of dug into it?
Well, at first I was kind of like, okay, cheerleading, like it could be corny. But then I properly read it, and then I read the book, and I realized how intriguing and dark and like almost maleficent like the entire script was, and like the whole vibe to it. And I don't know, it was something really different from what I've done before, so I wanted to take it on and show a different personality and like a whole nother vibe of what I can do.
Maleficent, that's a good word.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw the movie recently as well, so it's like kind of a word that's in my mind.
I love that. Was it good?
Sorry.
Was it good?
Oh, it was great.
All right, great.
Yeah.
I love
like
the first
magic,
one.
So yeah.
As soon as I watched it, I immediately thought of like Bring It On and Jawbreakers and Heathers and all these movies I loved. And they sort of
Heathers is a good one.
right, and they explore just like how hard it can be to be a girl in high school.
Yeah.
So why do you think that's so interesting to kind of like dig into those lives?
Well, I think it's the most confusing time, especially like as a girl with all the things going on, and especially now with social media and like just it's difficult to navigate through life, especially as a teenager when you have all the emotions that you have and everything seems so much bigger and like harder than it actually is a lot of the time. And sorry, I'm just taking it all in. This is cool.
Yeah, I know.
This is
when
fun.
you have the street going on, wait till a siren goes by.
Yeah, if you're like stopping and looking, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important, especially with this show where we're diving into everything that is happening now, like gender fluidity and like real problems, upper and middle class, and the way that kids feel, they feel lonely and different, and that's how everyone felt at that age, and it's harder now. And so I think it's really important. I think the show's gonna be really important for everyone to watch, just to kind of give a look into how much harder it is now than it was then.
Your character really sort of embodies a lot of that because she seems like somebody who wants more. She wants to do better. She wants to get out of this town, but yet she has to deal with sort of all of these pressures. And so what did you kind of take from the book, or what did you learn about Addie from the book that you could bring to her on the screen?
Well, Addie in the book is completely opposite of me in every way. She doesn't look like me. They kind of flip the script a little. I mean, I can't talk too much. You guys should read the book and then make your own opinion. But what really stood out and one thing I could relate to Addie was her drive and how genuine she was about the people that she cares about. And when you watch a show, a lot of the time you're going to be a little confused about her motives. But I think it's just an overall feeling of being confused and also being really innocent. And that's like what I took from the book and her personality trait. And I feel like I have a lot of that still in me. And I just kind of like brought it out more. Just like genuinely, this is a lot going on, but I'm here for it, and I want to do right by everyone, but I also have to have my best interest, because you have to have your back as well as have your girls back. And that's like a really big theme of the show, is always have your girls back.
Stuck in that triangle, right? Between
It's
her best friend
it's
and
kind
her
of a
coach
love
and-
triangle, yeah.
So what is it like working with Willow and Marlo, who are the other two that you kind of get to play with a lot? Because it's so tense in the scenes.
Yeah.
What do you do on set to sort of lighten it up?
Well, as soon as they call cut, we like laugh our butts off. Like we have a great time together. We all get along really well. Willa is kind of like coach to me in real life, I would say. I look up to her as an older woman and as an incredible actress, and I really appreciate and respect her work ethic. And also the same as Marlo. They're both, they're real actors. And I say that because I'm an actress, but I'm also a musician. So when I'm working with other actors where that's their like biggest passion, I like to kind of like embody like what they think and like kind of watch the way they move. And they're both so intense and really like they study the characters so well, and I really love watching them and learning from them. And then as soon as, like I said, the camera's cut, we just hang out. We're just fun and goofy together.
That's cool. It sounds like you've really sort of grown then in this role a little bit. Like, in what ways has it sort of helped you grow as an actress?
It was a lot. It was a lot. I was on set every single day. I was fully just living pretty much on set, and it taught me a lot about endurance and responsibility and teamwork. And I think that's one of the best things about being on set, is that you become a part of a really big family, and everyone is new. You don't really know anyone until you start to get to know them, and everyone just kind of unravels, and it's like a present every time, and everyone just is so sweet and incredible. And I just like learning and watching people's characteristics, and I use some of that sometimes in my acting.
You said the word teamwork, and that seemed really on point because you guys are on a cheerleading squad.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you were homeschooled. So I take it you were never a cheerleader?
No, I was never a cheerleader.
Right. Okay.
My sister was a cheerleader.
Okay.
I was more of like with the skaters and just in the corner. Yeah. But it was
Chill.
Yeah, it was just
Really making fun of the cheerleaders.
yeah. Maybe I was. Well, it's fun to make fun of your sibling, right? So whether she was a cheerleader or not, I would have made fun of her. But it was. I actually grew up dancing. I was on a dance team for 7 years in Miami. So I have dance background, and I love to dance, and I love learning new routines. And it was really fun to get to work with some of the girls who actually are professional cheerleaders, and they're so strong.
Athletes.
They're athletes. It's insane. Like, these women are ripped. They're lifting each other. Like, it's not a game, It's not. We've had casualties on set because it's real. We're really doing those things, and it's intense, man. But I got fit. I got very fit, and I got like very healthy on this show, and that's like kind of something that just happened naturally because I had to. I was forced to like eat really well and, you know, take care of myself, which is great.
Darn.
Yeah. Drat.
I was going to ask about the learning the routines. That seems like probably the easier part than like the actual like pyramids and like you're like having somebody that you're holding up and stuff.
Yeah, learning the dance routines is just fun for me. I really like to dance. I like do it for fun. I like get a YouTube video and learn it at home just because dancing makes me feel really good and feel alive. Yes, lifting women. I'm thin, okay? Like, I'm fit, but I was not ready for the physical, like, endurance that I had to have. I was not prepared. But I'm glad that I got a chance to do that because it really forced me to push myself to like my every limit. And like if you get hurt, you got to get back up and like keep going because you have a whole team. Yeah. It's not about you. It's about the squad. And that's actually a really big point that Addie has to kind of force Beth to like remember. Right. Is that this is squad time. It's not about everything else, and you have to put other things aside, which is like hard to do in high school because the little dramas mean everything. So I think that's also a really good message that's going to send young girls. Yeah.
And so we've talked about the cheerleading squad part, but there's also like a real darkness in this show. And I don't want to give anything away because I don't know how much people know, but can you just kind of talk about some of the scandal that we're going to see unfold?
Well, it is a murder mystery, and that is in the book, so everybody knows that. That's no surprise. But it's kind of...
It's hard. That's why I'm making
really
you do
hard.
it.
I know you are. I know, and they're like, "Don't give that." Crap. Let me think. I guess one thing there are a lot of scandals, a lot of love, more than one love triangle. That kind of sets everything off, and it might not be the one that you think it is.
Guys. I'm hooked.
Does that
good.
help?
You
Was
did a
that
good job.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
I'll
good.
take it now.
Okay.
I know you mentioned you're a musician, and I was impressed to find that some of your music is actually going to appear in the series.
Yes, it is.
So do we know like what episodes or when to expect that? Like, how do I know when to listen for it?
As far as I like can remember at the moment, episode 2 is where you'll hear one of my first tracks. And I'm really excited, and I'm really happy to work with this team because production is incredible and everyone genuinely cares about everyone. And so they're like so for it when I was like, hey, get one of my songs on there, come on. And they're like, all right, let's do it. And so I actually ended up getting a couple. And it's a really cool platform because sometimes you make a song that doesn't match your rest of your album or what you've shown everyone, but you can give it to a movie or a show, and then it lives there. So I'm glad that I got to find a place for a couple of those kinds of songs to live.
You said a couple of songs, but I know you're working on a whole EP, right?
I am.
So tell us kind of like what's your vibe, what sort of sounds are you playing with, what can we expect, and when can we expect it?
Well, you have to kind of decide on the vibe yourself. It's difficult for me to put myself in a genre, and this is what I always tell people, is because I have so many like passions and so many influences and so many rhythms that live inside me that it's hard to put all of them together and call it one thing. Yeah. So I always let people decide that for themselves. And as far as releasing, my first thing should come out end of this month, which is what we're working on very soon. Yes, right around the time that this comes out, which is very soon. Wasn't expecting it to be that soon, honestly. It was like a surprise. Nice surprise. I'm glad.
I've listened to some of your music, and I see what you're saying because you do mix genres, which is what makes it fun. Like there's ethereal, you can feel a little pop, a little hip, like there's like a lot of different influences. I know you grew up in a musical family, so take me back a little bit. Like what sort of influence did music have on you early on?
Well, my dad's a reggae musician, so I grew up with him on stage, and that was kind of like the first time that I got a taste of music. And of course, it's like your father, so you have the utmost respect and love, and you're so excited to just be there with dad, you know? So my first experience was very positive, and I looked up to him on stage, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. And I never wanted to do anything more ever since then, and he got me my first guitar at 8, and I started writing music at 8, and I just haven't stopped. And that's my greatest passion. Yeah.
So then I first got to see you in The Get Down, and that was your first acting role. So what was the discovery process from that? Because it seemed like music was the emphasis. So then how did you just like spring into acting on such a big show?
You know, I ask myself the same question all the time. It's funny, acting kind of just happens for me. I didn't think that I could, and I didn't think I was good at it. I never did. I did A Midsummer Night's Dream. That was about the only theatrical experience I had. But as an artist, I really love to like make music videos in my head and kind of act them out like to myself. I mean, it's kind of weird. I might be in the mirror and like fully become a different character for a song, or like, you know, when you're walking down the street and you have a song playing in your ears and you're like feeling yourself, and you're like, that's kind of where it started. And I guess it was just a natural ability that I had. And after the initial reason I did the Get Down is because I was able to sing in it, and I was like, okay, well, that's perfect. It'll help my music. And then it did that, and it also continued into acting. And I've done a few things since then, and it's like I'm growing into an actress now, and it's like a legitimate thing that I do now. And it's like,
I love the look of
life.
surprise in your eyes.
Well, life, you know? It's just like I didn't expect that. And it's a beautiful surprise because I have so many beautiful people that I've met and families all over the world now because of it, and I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
And I know you have American Gods, which is have you guys watched American Gods? That show is so crazy.
It's
and
very crazy.
It's confusing in like all the right ways.
Yeah.
You know? So you have a role on that next
Yes,
season.
so that is right after Jeremy, that happened like the week after. So that was also another great surprise. Yeah. I'm playing a character named Oshun, who is an ancient goddess of love and water and power. And she kind of helps the character Bilquis, which if you've seen the show, you know who she is, navigate and kind of find herself again. And I play that character along with the other two Orishas, and it's actually been a really incredible experience. I just got off set like 12 hours ago, and I was dancing in water, and I didn't think that I would be doing that, but it's great because if I want to continue acting, I want to do more fantasy and stuff like that. So
I was going to say that must be a really unique experience because, I have seen the show and there's like a lot of special effects, and I can imagine being on set, you're playing to things that aren't there. And you're having
exactly. And it's an experience. It's something new. It's really exciting though. I got to do like a full VFX body scan, and I got to wear the suit, and I'm excited to see what it actually looks like. Because in the moment, it feels kind of like, what am I doing? But then, you know, when it's edited and done, it looks like magic. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited to see it because watching you in Dare Me was really fun. I mean, you really like fully brought Addie to life, and so I'm sure you're gonna bring that to the next role, even if it is all sort of like happy surprises.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different character again. I'm glad I'm not getting typecasted. That's like an actor's worst nightmare. So like, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, industry.
Yeah, exactly.
We do have a couple of questions. The first one from @WhyNotAddie. Herizen, what is your interpretation of Beth and Addie's relationship and why it runs so deep?
I think it's because they're like sisters. And when you're so close with someone, you're so comfortable and you're not worried to lose them. So I think that's why they have that comfortability to kind of push each other so much.
And they push each other.
They really do.
Yeah.
It's competitive, but it's also, you can still feel the love and the pain in it. And it's a pain of losing someone. Yeah. And I think that's why it's so deep, is because they're all each other had growing up in a small town.
Yeah.
So
That's why the pilot is so great because there is one scene in particular where Beth really pushes Addie to a place where I'd be like, bye, girl.
oh, you
I saw it, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, girl, why are you still friends with her? They're out in the woods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I was like, find a new friend. But
Yeah.
it also brings you into the world and you can see that like, even after that moment, that's still her girl. And then that makes you want to watch this crazy journey I'm sure they're going to go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make you guys want to watch it? Was that a good like tease? All right. Where's the first question in the audience?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. All right, but let me get straight to the question. I wanted to know what was the experience on playing with Jaden Smith and Nas and the kid with the afro, the one who was writing you. Yeah, him. And where did that song come from? Because that song was fire. It was fire.
Which song? I'm sorry, which song?
The song we used in the church, like, that song.
In the very first episode.
Yeah. No.
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Well, I would love to say that I wrote that song, but I did not. The writers, we had an incredible music team behind the Get Down. And that was like one of the first really big challenges I had on the show, because it was a really powerful song, and I don't always use my voice that way. I kind of use my softer, more chill voice when I sing, but I can belt, and I sometimes forget that I can. So I mean, that song came from a place of like power, and that was her first moment of wanting to become a singer. And I think that's why it's such a big moment for fans, is because you could really feel it. Yeah.
Thank you. Go for it.
Hey, without giving anything away, can you tell me what your favorite or most memorable scene for Dare Me?
Yeah. Well, I have a few, because it was an incredible few months filming, but I would say one of my favorite moments is when we finally get to see how vulnerable Coach is and how deep the relationship between Addie and Coach really is. And that scene was really powerful for me. Yeah.
That was a really good spoiler-free answer.
Good.
So
I did yeah.
You did a great job.
Good.
It's hard. It's hard to do with a show
hard
like this
because you're like,
yeah, and there's so much craziness even in the pilot that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
And you can't
And I
until you
can't.
watch it. So you guys should watch it. And you can do that on December 29th on USA, and put your hands together for Herizen Guardiola.
thank you guys.